A Yachts for Sale YouTube channel opening a window onto the world of yacht brokerage, and today telling you about a visit we had to our yacht brokerage office in Monaco from a naval architect. Now, apart from yacht brokers working at a brokerage firm like Northrop & Johnson, there are also all kinds of back office staff, researchers, a yacht charter division. And so we regularly have an event called Lunch and Learn, inviting different industry professionals to come and have lunch with us and then explain exactly what they do. It's a great way to expand our knowledge of the industry. When I heard that this week's Lunch and Learn session would be with a well-known naval architecture and yacht design company, I thought this is something that my YouTube viewers would love to listen in on. So I attended and I took notes. If you've seen the videos that I've published of the gorgeous Explorer yacht Ocean 7, or the totally electric yacht built by Cialia and called Deep Silence, or if you have watched the Yacht Builders YouTube channel and seen the 60-metre super yacht that's in construction at Alia Yachts, then you have seen just a very small fraction of the diverse and impressive work done by Vripack. Partner and co-creative director of Vripack, Marnix Hekstra, flew over from the Netherlands to discuss naval architecture with us, and it was a fascinating presentation. He started by saying that naval architecture is all about the shape and the behaviour of a yacht. The shape of the hull will affect the behaviour of the vessel, the stability, the speed and the range, for example. The process from yacht design to yacht construction is not really a straight line, but rather a design spiral. Each element that you see on this spiral needs to be analysed and understood. And it's not unusual for you to get to the end of the circle, the cost of the project, and discover that this is not actually what the client was looking to achieve. So you start again, slightly changing the brief, which leads to a change in the weight, a different line plan, and on until each circle is refined to a point that the owner of the yacht and the shipyard who's building it are happy to proceed. Of course, a client has to start by discussing his design brief, how big the yacht needs to be, for example, but also what is the purpose of the yacht? What material should she be built from? What sort of speed and range she should achieve? How much equipment should be on board? He explained that the weight of a yacht is absolutely critical to understand at an early stage, and if done correctly is an extremely complex study. The hull and superstructure usually accounts for about 50% of the weight, but the rest is made up of thousands of different components, and it's often a question of experience and knowledge to get this right. He used the example of a microwave oven and said, how heavy is a microwave oven, for example, and how heavy is the wiring that goes along with it? This is the level of detail that a competent naval architect will go into in a yacht design, and not just the total amount of weight on board, but also the position of the weight is essential to understand at the design stage, since it has such a big effect on the centre of gravity of the yacht, which in turn dramatically affects its behaviour. He shared a list of elements that influence this with us, and you may be surprised to see items such as paintwork and fairing making a real impact on weight. Joinery and cabinetry is not surprising, of course. Motion control systems, I guess, refer to the engines and running gear. But even owner's supplies need to be taken into consideration. If you are thinking of building a yacht, maybe you want it to be capable of landing a helicopter on. This will make a considerable difference to the weight, as will a swimming pool, or even a jacuzzi tub actually. It is a colossal project to calculate the weight, and it's not surprising that this point of the design spiral has to be passed through several times before it's right. Line drawings too need to be drawn up, of course. Apparently years ago these were made with a flexible ruler and lots of mathematics, but modern computers have made it a little easier. That said, Marnix explained that naval architects will seldom give these away, since this is where the magic really happens. The comfort of the ride, the range, the speed, the stability, it all lies in the shape of the hull as dictated by the line drawings. He spoke at length about the flare of a bow, something that I always believed was principally there to deflect waves and reduce the amount of spray that hits the yacht and the guests on board. Whilst it does serve that purpose, apparently it also aids the buoyancy of the vessel and therefore the comfort of the ride on board. He was eager to point out that this does not really have anything to do with the seaworthiness of a yacht as such. When you look at the Damen yacht support vessels, for example, they have practically no flare to the bow at all, but are supremely seaworthy. He suggested that a vessel designed to carry toys rather than guests may be prepared to sacrifice the comfort and dry ride of a flared bow in favour of the increased speed and range that comes from a narrow beam and a vertical bow. He also gave a very good explanation of bulbous bows, something that some yachts have and others don't. The bulb at the bow actually serves to create a wave pattern that reduces wave resistance and therefore increases speed and range. When you see a yacht that creates a big wave at the bow as it cruises along, that's usually not a good thing. A bulbous bow can prevent that. Some hull shapes need it, others don't. A good naval architect such as Vripack will know when it really serves a purpose. Something that I often talk about on this channel is gross tonnage, and I really liked Marnix's explanation of this. He said that years ago the volume of ships was determined according to how much grain a ship could carry. If it was over a certain amount, the ship would have to comply with certain regulations, and now this same principle has spilled over into luxury yachts. Simply put, if an interior area of a yacht can hold grain without it spilling out, even if the yacht is turned upside down, then this becomes part of the gross tonnage of the vessel. If you exceed 500 gross tons, then generally the yacht has to meet tougher requirements related to the crew and the construction. For this reason, many builders of yachts in the 50-metre size range will do everything they can to keep under 500 gross tons of volume. And have you ever seen one of these on a yacht? It's called a load line or a plimsoll line. He said that the history of these is pretty shocking, since when Lloyd's Registry first started to insure ships, many ship owners found that they would profit more if the ship sank than if it arrived safely at its destination. So they would overload the vessel with any heavy and worthless objects they could get their hands on and send the ship and the crew out to the ocean where they were sure to sink. So Lloyd's Registry created a formula that ensured that every ship they insured would never sink below a certain line when it was loaded. This stands true today, and as you walk around a port or marina next time, you are highly unlikely to ever see this sign below the waterline. If it is, then the ship is probably uninsurable. We actually chatted with Marnix for over an hour about all kinds of things relating to naval architecture and his business. I've tried to compress the best bits here in this vlog, but if you'd like to know more, I would love to organise a live stream with Marnix in which you can ask him all the questions you like. He really is an interesting and extremely knowledgeable guy, so make sure you leave a comment below if you'd like to hear a live stream with him. And on the subject of learning about the yachting industry, around the time that this vlog is published, I'm looking forward to sending out another Inside Info newsletter, in which I tell you something of the things that we're doing as a video team before it actually reaches the channel, projects that we have underway, and interesting developments in yachting that I don't really cover here You can sign up for that newsletter at the link in the description below. I'm filming this in my office in Monaco, but I should be either in the Bahamas or Fort Lauderdale when this is published. I'm hoping for good weather so that we can film a few yachts both for sale and for charter. So if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do make sure that you do so. And while you're at it, subscribe to the Yachts for Charter and the Yacht Builders channels too. Their links are in the description below. But the final point that I really want to make in this video is that when I do cover yachts, yacht builders, yacht construction, and when you're thinking about buying a yacht for yourself, whether that's just a flight of fantasy or whether it's reality, it's really good to know how the yachts are built, but it's essential to know who the designer is, how much design has gone into it, what the naval architecture is all about in order to make an intelligent decision in the yacht that you buy. I actually made up that bit at the end because I thought I hadn't put it in my script, but it is the point I want to put across, that some yacht builders don't talk about who the yacht designer or the naval architect is, but it's really essential.